What's up, Facebook? Neil and Rachel here. We got something pretty cool to show you guys. This is a little practice game that we came up with recently. We played it with some students and it's been really helpful, so it might be helpful for you too. This game is called Cello Commander, but really you can call it anything you want. Violin Vanquishers, viola Vanguard, whatever you like. So this game was inspired because this week we got some messages from some studio parents saying that some students were playing the music from beginning to the end. You know how that is. They know they're not supposed to do that, but they were doing it anyway. And I was just thinking, how can we find a way for them to visualize the power of splitting your music into better, smaller chunks and getting in lots of repetitions. So for this practice game, you can really do it whenever you want, however you want. I've been doing it in lessons when I noticed that there's a technique students need to work on, and I wanted them to get a lot of repetitions and focus on it. So check it out. This is it. This is how I play it, and if this is helpful for you in any way and you figure out your own twist, that's cool too. The idea of this came from the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu. In case you don't know that book, it was written in like the year 500 BC. Has a bunch of tactics and strategies and stuff. And he talked about the idea of retreating your army to get to better terrain, letting them chase you a little bit so you can fight them better. You'll see how that ties into here in just a second. So if you look here at the battlefield, we have all of our pieces. So this is the player's army right here, and they are severely outnumbered by the opposing forces. So when it's time to play, in whatever context you choose, you start off by taking like maybe a line of what they're supposed to be playing. And how it works is I have this little cheat sheet in front of them for this game. When I'm doing repetitions, I usually focus on making sure that they have tone, rhythm, and intonation. Yesterday, one of my students had the battle for a high third finger because his third finger was kind of low on a B on the G string. You focus on what you want to focus on, whether it's just these three things, or you might even end up mixing another concept in there. Up to you. So how it works basically is you do your repetitions. If the student gets a successful repetition, boom, you get that opposing piece off of the board like that. However, if they don't have the things that you're looking for and that they should be listening for while they're doing their repetitions, they lose a piece, like that. One of the cool features about this is it lets students experiment with the idea of putting their repetition into smaller pieces. So they can slug it out here on the battlefield and play it by that line, but at any time, they can choose to retreat to the mountain. And if they do that, here's what it looks like. If they say they want to go to the mountain, let's go to the mountain. We're bringing everything back here. And I'll tell them the exact part we're focusing on in their little excerpt. Maybe it's one measure. Maybe it's a part of one measure. So going to the mountain allows them to chase you through the mountain path like this. And now the game has changed and you're only focusing on that little thing. And then you keep playing the game. If they get a successful repetition, oh, their cavalry has been taken out. You can ham it up as much or as little as you want. They got your cannon if it didn't happen. Now, the cool thing about this is I noticed two things yesterday when we were doing this. One, students were really starting to take ownership of when they were realizing, when they were practicing something, they could get a feel of whether the challenge was too big for them or not. And if it was, there was no problem just taking a step back, finding better terrain, and redoing it with something more manageable so that they could win. Also, I loved having them count, hey, how many pieces were there on the other side? 10. They did 10 repetitions and letting them see that.
This is about training our students how to be more efficient in their practice.
Exactly, exactly. Not playing all the way through everything, looking in smaller pieces, and if needed at any time, regrouping so that you can win by doing it in much smaller pieces.
What I really like about this is that sometimes when kids are practicing, the tasks at hand feel like it's a to-do list, things they have to check off.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, I would say they kind of check out and they're no longer strategizing through their practice. It's just like, here are the things I have to do. What I really like about this, because you're incorporating a game, is games are played to win.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're really doing is you're empowering the student to win their practice, not just get it done.
Exactly.
And I think that's really brilliant.
Exactly. Thank you. I've seen sometimes when I'll tell students to play in smaller pieces or something like that. Let's shorten it a little bit and look at that spot. And they don't always look thrilled to see that. Sometimes they might even feel like they did something wrong, or they couldn't make it or couldn't do it.
Or because it feels better to start at this point instead of that point in the music.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was really cool seeing students say, I want to go to the mountain. Okay, they're chasing you in. It's easier to get them now. Here's your chance. And seeing them focused, determined, and excited to go to a little smaller piece. So this is totally in beta stage. This is something that's been going on here at the studio for 2 days now, I think. We're going to play around with this formula a little bit, but that's it. Facebook family, we hope it helps. Any other thoughts?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you do try something like this, and by the way, you don't have to use a Chinese chess set like what we have here. I think it could work with a regular chess set, or really anything. Sky's the limit. So
It doesn't even have to be a chess set. It could just, you could have pieces look like anything, really.
True. Anything.
It could be stones,
That'd be really.
objects
Oh, that would be nice.
of any kind.
Of any kind.
Buttons.
Buttons? You could use buttons.
Coins.
Coins. Cool. Yep. All right. That's it. We're out of here, Facebook. Have fun.